Hello everyone, and welcome to today's video. We're going to be breaking down Iman Gadzhi's persuasion, his psychology, his marketing, his selling tactics that he sprinkles throughout all of his videos to keep you hooked, to keep you under his spell, and to eventually persuade you to buy from it. Now, this is my second breakdown that I've done of Iman Gadzhi, but you guys keep DMing me about him, and his name keeps appearing on the polls as well. So I figured, give the people what they want. Let's do another breakdown and all the little persuasion tactics he uses. I am going to be doing a Q&A soon as well. I know you guys keep asking me about persuasion questions, psychology, business, how to be more persuasive, things like this. So I promise I will do it soon. However, post your questions in the comment section. I've already got a few, but I need a few more before I do a video like that. Okay, let's get straight to the breakdown. So he does some persuasion things in this video that I found here, which are completely different from the stuff which he's done previously. And this video is called 4 Things You Should Know Before Making Millions. It's got almost 250,000 views and it was released 12 days ago. Let's first go to the comments and have a little look at what everyone's saying. Okay, so we have Ali Abdal. He's a huge creator himself who says super helpful video. We have Saba Kumoz here who says, bro, you're all courses I have in my hard drive thanks to your extraordinary efforts. Bro just admitted to pirating all of Iman's courses and then wrote it as a supportive comment. Crazy, right? So let's get straight into the video. Let's see what he says here.
All right, so let's talk about mistakes, because in full admission, my career has been littered with them. I've started the wrong businesses, I've hired the wrong people. For anyone who's been following for long enough, you've probably seen a lot of this unfold. I'm not perfect, I'm a human, and I'm always just learning as I go.
So straight away at the start of the video, we're only 22 seconds in, straight away at the start of the video, you can see that he's rubbing his head, talking about all the mistakes that he's made. What is he using right here? Well, he's using authenticity to try to get you to like him more. A really important persuasion principle and something which makes us buy from people is called the likability bias. And the likability bias happens where you basically really like someone, but also you ignore anything bad that they've ever done. You can also get the dislikability bias as well, where you'll dislike someone and ignore all the positive things they'll do. If you look at media campaigns and PR campaigns, as soon as Trump came to power, the media made it their goal to create a dislikability bias around Trump, and anything positive that he did, they didn't report on it, but anything negative they did, or even if he didn't do something negative, they'd just take it out of context. It's dislikability bias. The media know this very well. Iman here is sharing an authentic story because that is one of the triggers to create that likability bias. Hey, I'm only human. I'm going to talk about my mistakes.
The moment when you just start making money and you find the tiniest bit of success, because this is really when temptation is the highest and your wallet feels its heaviest.
He's not wrong, by the way. People have the tendency to, as soon as they've won a little bit in business, they assume the money is just going to keep coming, and then they go and spend all that money, and that money was really to be reinvested in the business to grow it even more, to continue producing money. So his message is actually very, very good, what he's saying here. It's very true.
But fail to ever pass this threshold. And then most people end up worse off than when they first started. So if you want a chance at true longevity and the opportunity to make millions, I want you to watch this video to find out the 4 lessons that you need to know. The first one.
So the opportunity to make millions there, he's created this reward for the viewer. He's also established his authority. This is called authority bias. And authority bias is we look to experts and authority figures to help us make a decision, right? So he's just created subtly this illusion of authority there, because he's saying these are all the mistakes I've made. This is what you need to do to get to millions, right? So he's not even explicitly telling the viewer that he's worth millions. The subtext of the conversation is that he's worth millions and that you should listen to him. We pay attention as well to what else he said. He says these 4 steps. If you follow these 4 steps, it's going to help you make millions as well. So in psychology, again, that's called the open loop psychology. And basically humans need to hear the end of a story. They need to hear the loop until it's closed. Now he's said that there's 4 steps to this. You're going to be listening intently and thinking to yourself, what steps actually resonate with my situation more? So you could have heard step 1, 2, and 3, And that's already quite a lot of retention on the video, right? Quite a lot of viewers will have stayed to that point. And then you think, well, maybe the next step is actually the one that I'm missing. So you can't leave the video really until the loop is closed. It's a clever psychology technique and it's actually very effective.
It's quite simple. Stick to one business. The reality is that starting any business requires complete and total dedication. And if you've found any success in your life, you probably understand this. Invest as much time as possible into productizing and automating your business. Set into place the most aggressive possible and narrow.
What is this B-roll?
Possible.
What is this guy doing? Sat there rubbing his knees. What is this guy watching on the screen?
Invest as much time as possible into productizing and automating your business. Set into place the most aggressively robust systems. So to stand a chance of elevating yourself to the next level in business, you have to think in terms of empires.
It's quite interesting what he's doing here. So his other videos were very much, this is my lifestyle, you know, you can achieve this as well if you want to, you know, buy my course or whatnot. But in this one, he's actually appealing to a more business-focused audience, and he seems to be focusing on, I don't know if he's adjusted his offer or whatnot, he seems to be focusing more on an audience which have already established themselves in business, who want to grow as well, because he's talking about, you know, the $1 million a year, which is interesting because I'm just looking on the click-through page now, and his pricing's only $37, which indicates that it's actually served at a younger audience, an audience who haven't spent money before, but his messaging in this seems to be towards a more of a mature audience. So if Iman's team are watching this, I would actually recommend he changes up his marketing a little bit because he seems to be targeting more of a mature audience. Let's get back to the video.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, if you've been looking to start an online business and kickstart your online high income career, I want you to check out Digital Launchpad. It is the Netflix for making money online.
It is the Netflix of making money online. That right there is called association bias. And we have all these associations already stuck in our head. And when we think of Netflix, what do we think of? We think of great value, lots of choices, ability to keep you entertained and to keep you engaged as well. That all directed to just making money online. So he's cleverly there used association bias to make you think of the quality that Netflix produces. Well, I'm not too sure actually in 2024, but the quality that Netflix did used to produce, and then he's making you also think about his program as well. Clever stuff that was.
Bring in the best educators in the world to teach the thing that they are most proficient at. So no matter what.
Authority bias. I bring in the best educators in the entire world, right? So he is not only upping his own status there because he's saying, right, I'm connected with the best educators in the entire world, but also he's showing his expertise in that these people will be teaching you. So it's going to be a very rewarding experience. Why would you not want to learn from the best teachers in the world? Again, very clever.
So no matter what kind of personality you have or what sort of lifestyle you have, you can find an online business model that will succeed and win for you in the exact same way as all of the success stories that I've just been putting on screen.
So this is called a funnel video, and what he's doing there is putting that social proof on the screen, which is his client, his customer testimonials, and he's putting it right in the middle of the pitch. It's quite curious because he started the pitch very early in this video, almost like the whole video is just designed to try the pitch. So I imagine he's probably experimenting with a few things. I don't really follow him too much. I see the odd bit about him, but there's a few things which I'm noticing here, which are a bit odd from a Persuasion point of view, like the pricing, but aimed at a more of a mature audience. The pricing seems to be aimed at a younger audience. And then he's also just went broad market with his message as well. He says it's for anyone, right? And then he's showing the testimonials straight into the video, which is social proofing it, because social proof is a persuasion tactic and means that humans like to watch other humans make decisions, and then that helps us make decisions. It's an energy saving mechanism if you look into evolutionary psychology, because making decisions is expensive from an energy point of view.
Success stories that I've just been putting on screen, and all of this for only $37 a month. If you're not happy, you can cancel at any time. We literally have new programs releasing every single month this year inside of there.
He'd put that risk reversal in there so you can cancel at any time, you're not tied into contracts. Humans hate contracts, and as time has went on, more and more companies have started to relax contracts. I consult for a company, they do 82 million a year. and they used to do contracts and they've come away from contracts. Now it's you can cancel at any time, you can refund when you want. This was part of some of the persuasion advice that I gave them there, because we're living in a time where people don't want to feel at risk, and I think he's done that quite successfully.
To our second point of discussion, there is nothing more dangerous to an entrepreneur than money burning a hole in his pocket. At a certain point, when you work hard and consistency pays off, you're going to be more than tempted to reward yourself and start to elevate your lifestyle. You're going to start looking at slightly bigger apartments in slightly nicer areas. You're going to want to eat out more often, to fly business class and finance a Mercedes. You want to show off to all the friends who were pissed at you when you weren't drinking with them at the pub and instead working on your online business.
I love that message there, by the way. I think that was very good. What did he do? He described the viewer's exact situation, and that's to help with that likable image again, because we tend to like people that are similar to us. And what he's done there is he's described the exact situation that people are saying, look, I get it. Like, you've lived this certain type of life and you want to earn a bit of money, and then eventually you do start earning a bit of money, and now you want to, go and get that Mercedes on finance, and you want to, show off to your friends a little bit. I completely get it. And also, it's more of an empathetic marketing message as well. We've seen in the past that Liver King, he uses intense empathy to get his point across. When he's on podcast, he controls the whole situation, controls everyone who's on the microphone with empathy, right? And this right here is showing empathy to the current viewer's situation. So that's appealing to a certain group of people who need to feel empathy to actually get motivated, right? It's good psychology. It's very interesting.
Money's not meant to be real, and go spend all your money on a supercar and all this bullshit. Listen, if you want to play that game, up to you. I'm just telling you what I did and what all of my true multi-billion-dollar friends did.
Listen to what he said then. He casually fit into a sentence, these multi-billion-dollar friends. And again, it's emphasizing that network. We've seen Andrew Tate do this in the past, where he talks about having a powerful network of friends who've all got billions of dollars. I don't know, Iman, and that might be true, but it was a good little segment to sprinkle in, which helps with him with his authority, right? Because when we look at people, right, we tend to look at groups of people and group them all together as the same type of person. And this goes right back to, being a baby, right? So if you look into any type of school or, any type of high school, there's certain type of people who hang around together, right? The goth kids hang around with the goth kids. The kids who all come from like a privileged background all hang around together. It's the same thing. People like to group together. So us as humans save energy by just looking at what type of people are associated with you as a person, and then we make a judgment of the status you have, where you fit into the social hierarchy, how much money you're likely to have, etc., how much power you're likely to have.
They kept investing. Because I can tell you right now, what's one thing that's nicer than supercars? And by the way, this is coming from someone that has spent $3 million on cars in the last year. I like my cars. I've even gifted quite a few cars to loved ones. You know what's nicer than a car? Knowing that your loved ones don't have mortgages.
He's appealing to a few different groups of people there. He's appealing to the people who want to take care of the family, and he's also appealing to the people who are motivated by money and material possessions as well. Very interesting that he's doing that, because he's on one hand showing his authority, showing the reward, saying, hey, you know what, I've got all these possessions. I'm a multi-millionaire as well. This is what motivated me. But sometimes that's not important. Sometimes it's about just looking after your family, right? Because he knows that some people will actually be put off by the message of money. Some people are like disgusted by the idea of earning more money and being materialistic. Other people are just very, very focused on being family-oriented people, and he's trying to appeal to both groups of people there. The problem is, if you try to cast your net too wide to catch some fishes, you're going to end up catching none. So again, I feel like they're testing marketing right now, and they maybe haven't got quite everything in place, and maybe they're just trying to chuck a few things at a wall to see what works with this new market message. That's my, just theory anyway, from what I can see.
Listen, if a nicer apartment with a gym within the building gives you back 40 minutes every day, well then splurge on it. If a new monitor is genuinely going to boost your productivity and make you excited to sit at your desk, it's going to pay dividends in your business. In my opinion, when you're first getting...
I actually think this is a really good message. Buy things which are going to further you along a little bit. One of the best purchases that I made with business money was a fast laptop. I can't describe to you how much that changed my business and how much it reduced procrastination, because when things are lagging and slow, You've got to go and click on something else that's then laggy and slow as well. You get distracted in those few seconds that you have to wait. And like that just completely changed things for me. So I think that's a really good message what he's saying.
I felt like the man every single time I picked up the tab at the club or paid for a group meal. So as I went further in my journey.
So if you notice throughout the video, he's got all these little credibility markers there. He could have bought those Lamborghinis in cash. He could have bought those supercars in cash. He's made tens of millions of dollars. He could have paid for all of his friends' meals when he was still in school as well. He's deliberately sprinkling all these in to actually create that authority bias and be more persuasive, to show you the things which he's done, but also as well to constantly be putting in your face these credibility triggers as well.
Nothing more humbling than when I really started to hang out with top tier entrepreneurs. Guys who were light years ahead of me, who'd worked harder, were smarter, was my true moment of reckoning. The funny thing is though, that humbling was the best thing that could have ever happened to me.
It's very interesting. You know, this is a good video and it's got some good advice in it and he's got these good persuasion tactics in. But what you often learn about persuasion is that anything that's too scripted, where you're trying to come off as a likable person, where you're trying to, you know, present yourself as an authority figure, it loses its effectiveness, right? Because people look through it and they can instinctively tell that you put this together to persuade them or to influence them. We have these defense mechanisms and they're well evolved for humans over these hundreds of thousands of years that, you know, we've been around, right? Because we don't want to be deceived, right? So we can pick up on things like this. So it's interesting that he does these highly produced scripted videos. And to be honest with you, I think he would probably actually do a little bit better if it wasn't as scripted in this context, right? If it was a little bit more relaxed, if it wasn't so obviously showing pictures of Lamborghinis and things. If, you know, if we think back to the start of the video where he's rubbing his head like this saying, I've made so many mistakes, right? That's the type of things that you'd see on soap operas. You wouldn't see that in real life, right? It's like the money version of those influencers who kind of virtue signal, right? They set the camera up and they make sure it's all perfect, make sure the lighting's right, make sure the hair's all right, and then they start crying and saying, you know, I feel so terrible for the war which is happening in blah, blah, blah country, right? And then they get ripped to shreds in the comment section. When something is far too scripted, but it's trying to be authentic, it actually has the reverse effect on people's psyche, because they don't want to be deceived, right? And I feel as well, if we just scroll down a little bit, we've talked about how Iman Gadzhi uses a lot of bot comments, which are overly optimistic and applauding how good the video is as well. And we can definitely see some in here as well, like just overly positive. Thanks for your help, you know, you're the best person I ever watched. We can see their age again. I'm 17 and watching this from Zambia. And that's one of the key ways to spot these bot comments. They sometimes say their age for no reason, right? They sometimes say keywords such as source, you know, this is the best source ever, appreciate it, thank you, love your videos. Some of these comments are probably real, but, you know, we've seen before that some of them aren't, right? But the problem is that he would actually probably do a little bit better by not having those comments and having real, genuine comments. And it'd be more persuasive if he had just a real, genuine comments, right? You know, maybe the odd bot comment would help him, but when it's kind of overloaded like that, people click onto it and it lowers their trust in you, right?
Most of my friends and most of the people I spend most of my time with, I am wealthier than, but they have areas of their life where they totally surpass me.
I love how he just keeps throwing his friends under the bus financially. He's like, in school, I could buy any of them any dinner they wanted, you know, I could do all these things. And now he's like, you know, I'm much wealthier than any of my friends.
And where I can learn things from them. It's just from a financial perspective, I don't compare myself to them. I compare myself to the people who are much further ahead of me. I enjoy that far more than all the extravagant lifestyle, yacht parties, blah, blah, all this stuff. All that crap's fun, but just surrounding yourself, just being in the presence of someone who's so much further ahead than you.
Again, there he goes with the credibility markers, saying about these yacht parties and casually mentioning all these expensive things as well, knowing that the viewer really wants that. But really what he's saying is you need to get around people who are ahead of you. And he's crafting this narrative throughout. Pitching his program, you need to get in with people who are ahead of you. And guess what his course offers? It offers the world's best experts in a lot of different business topics, right? So he's crafting this narrative all to sell this course, and it's pretty good. So I'm gonna end that video there. I've watched most of it now. I think what he's saying is a good message. However, it seems to be targeted a mature audience, a business mature audience, because yes, he's created this narrative throughout saying you always need to look to people who are ahead of you and then join the programs with them. That's the narrative he's created there. It could be an effective narrative, but also as well, he keeps mentioning billionaires and all these extravagant things. And unless you've been in business a while, and unless you've already earned, a couple of million, you're not really that interested in meeting billionaires, to be honest with you, because everything feels huge to you. So I feel like they've kind of missed the mark a little bit with this marketing, but that's just my opinion. Maybe it converted very well, this video. I don't know the figures. What do you think of this video? I thought it was amazing editing, highly put together. It had all these little elements of persuasion in. I think they could have been more effective personally, because it's so scripted that it's obvious it's scripted. And we see the bot comments throughout the channel. We see, him rubbing his head at the start, talking about mistakes. Scripted, right? And that actually, as we talked about before, has the opposite effect on people when they want to buy from you. People love authenticity of you sitting down in front of a camera. I get such nice messages from my very small audience. It's like I get 60 constant viewers on videos. And I get such nice messages from you guys, and you all like reach out to me in that. Because you like the fact that I'm just sat in a small room here. This is the smallest room in my house, right? And I do it because there's easy to focus in here, right? I have some friggin' chest of drawers behind me. I've got a little lamp over there, picture over here. This is not an amazing camera, right? And I just go with the video, but you guys like that, right? So it's very interesting. And I think there's a lot of lessons to be learned from it, but also there's some improvements they could make there as well. Let me know what you guys think though. I hope you enjoyed this video, and let me know who else you want me to break down, and leave me any questions you've got about persuasion down in the comments as well. Take it easy, folks. See you in the next one.